Cushman Town and Fairway 10 horsepower golf cart. Let me take you for a tour of it and show you around. So hey, it's Jason. You're probably wondering, why would I want to buy a 1969 Cushman Town and Fairway Golfster 10 horsepower Kohler engine golf cart? And quite simply, it's just because it's cool, it's groovy, it's the 60s. Think of how many rounds of golf might have been played on this, and now I can putz around on my property on it. And I got it at the Mecum auction in Indianapolis, July of 2020. I was bidding remotely because this is kind of at the peak of COVID. And this came across the auction block surrounded by six-figure cars, and up they started pushing this Cushman golf cart. And it wasn't getting a lot of love and attention because it wasn't running. Getting parts for these are probably really difficult, or it is really difficult. But I placed a few bids, and I got this bad boy for a couple $100, and then I had to have it shipped to me from Indianapolis, which cost more than the actual golf cart. But I love this thing. It's fun. The colors are just, kind of amazing. The seats are in great condition. It runs, but it had to have some work done, some of which I did, some of which a friend of mine took it to his shop and did. And it's running good enough now, but it's not perfect. When you get up the RPMs of the engine, I'm told it's supposed to shift into another gear with the type of transmission that it has, and it doesn't do that all the time. But for putzing around the house, it's just fine. So I'm going to give you a walk around of this, let you see what it's all about. But first, let's go back to that day, July 10th, 2020 in Indianapolis at the auction.
L170 from the Worthy Collections and a Cushman golf cart. It's white, and it's at no reserve on a bill of sale.
And not getting any use right tomorrow, not getting any bit of a kind of a Cushman time here, not getting any bit of a kind of a 3,000 bid, 3, 2, 2, not getting any bit of a kind of a 2 bid, not getting any bit of a kind of a $1,000 on the golf cart. Somebody give $1,000, $1,000, $1,000 a bid, $1,000, not getting a bit of a 500, $500 a bid, 500. What do you got? Bless your heart. 750, 5, 7 half, 500, 750, 5. Get a bit of a cut of a 7 bid, not get a bit of a cut of a 500, 750, 7 half hundred, 500 bid, not get a bit of a cut of a 7 half here, not get a bit of a cut of a 500 bid, and a bit of 750, 7 half bid, 5 bid, not get a bit of a cut of a 7 here, not get a bit of a cut of a 500, 750, and 5. Get a bit of a cut of a 7, not get a bit of a cut of a 7 bid, not get a last call 500, and a bit of 750, and 7 bid, not get a bit of a cut of. Anybody hear golf by any chance? 1,015, 2. Now, not get a bit of 500 bid, 750 here, not get a bit of a 500 on a bid, not get a bit of a kind of a 750. Sold $500.
So as you can see, this is a pretty awesome golf cart. The seats are in perfect condition. This is the only little tiny rip. I have conditioned them and cleaned them up. Everything shifts exactly how you would expect. The Cushman logos in the floorboard. All of the Town and Fairway Cushman Golfster logos are everywhere. The headlights I do not have working. I just have to replace the bulbs in the front, and the back ones are busted. I'll replace the top. Pretty much perfect condition. This is 52 years old, which is crazy. These are the lights which I'll replace in the back. A little bit of rust on the body and the arms. The underbody is in really good shape. This is set up for 4 people. But it also has a seat that completely folds down, which I'll show you, where you can put cargo. So how do you start this bad boy? You get in it. So how do you start it? You get in it, turn the key. If it's cold or if you haven't ran it, you have to pull that choke out. Once you turn the key, have it in neutral, push the pedal. Now you're going. And then you can put it in gear, such as forward. The horn is right here. The fuel gauge on this is working. Now it's in forward. And away you go. And then just like on any cart, when you're done, you basically want to lock the brake. And then what I do is I just put it back in neutral, and you can turn the key and everything is off. I believe these go to cigarette adapter. I had no idea that was even in there. And then I think that's for the headlights, which I'm pretty certain do not. Look at that. I'm shocked. They work. I didn't think they worked. The back ones are not working. So that's for the headlights. And then I believe this here is to turn right and left, I think. I don't know what this is for. I need to investigate it a little bit more. So how would you access the engine on this 1969 Cushman Town and Fairway Golfster? The first thing you're going to want to do, and you notice it has all the seat belts, is take this seat and just push it down. I would have did that more. And then once you push it down, you're going to be able to come to the actual vehicle and lift this back. And that will get you access to the engine. Here's your fuel under the passenger seat. I'm just going to tilt that seat back a little bit more. Always push this all the way back. Sometimes it gets caught on the poles for the roof, but you don't want that collapsing on you. So you can see it's wood underneath. The fuel tank, it runs regular 87 octane gas. I do have Lucas fuel treatment, just a little bit in it, as well as stable. It's very easy to inspect the frame on these, but this is the Kohler 10 horsepower cast iron engine from 1969. This is the air filter. We put a new filter in it. You may have noticed my exhaust was a little loud because there's a hole in it, so I'll probably replace this at some point. You have your spark plug. You have your oil dipstick, so you always want to make sure you have plenty of oil in the car. And you know, you can check just to make sure it's full. You can see here mine is. You could add oil as you need to. You have basically the power plant, so that keeps that battery recharged. I have a new battery installed in mine. It's a Napa Legend, and it's number 7558. You have all of this, which basically controls how the battery and power is being used. And then you have your belt. This belt is showing 1131. I'm told if you have the wrong belt on these, it doesn't run the way it should. So I'm going to double check to make sure I have the proper belt. You can see my exhaust has a hole in it, so she's a little noisy. Mine, when I first got it, wasn't starting, and the first thing I did was we had to replace this switch. This is just a switch from an EasyGo, and it basically lets you know when the seat is down, it will start, because otherwise it won't start. So basically, I think what happens is this gets pushed down. You can see how that's pushing down. It also pushes the pedal when you sit on it. And then this moves, and then it lets you know that the vehicle can start because somebody's sitting in it. So that switch was bad. But these are pretty basic. I'm not as you know, and I say this all the time, like a huge mechanic. There's some things I don't quite understand, but I've learned a lot, and I just think this is an absolutely awesome cart to have something that's 52 years old that runs. I will be keeping it in my storage shed. I'm going to put some stuff around it to make sure mice don't get around it. But that's the 1969 Cushman Town and Fairway Golfster. That's the engine underneath. And I love the fact that it's gas, because if it wasn't, the electric ones have about $400 worth of batteries. Imagine how much money you would have spent over 52 years replacing batteries. This, you just put gas in it. And then to put the seat down, you'll basically push that back down. But I want to show you one other little thing. Something that I think is kind of cool. You can go here and you can push this little lever in like so. And you can go to the other side. Same thing. You can push this one in. And you can actually lay this seat down, and you're getting like a little flatbed for storage, which I think is pretty darn cool. So it has the ability to seat 4, but then of course you can put this down if you're working around your property to haul things and such. And if anybody was wondering, the 1969 Town and Fairway Cushman Golfster fits in the standard opening shed. This is a 6-foot opening, top to bottom, and it fits in. So until next time, Golfster. Enjoy the rest. And definitely hook it to a trickle charger. You don't want your battery to die. And put some mice preventative in. That is a huge cornfield behind me, and mice love warmth in the winter. So that is the 1969 Town and Fairway Cushman Golfster, 10 horsepower, 52-year-old golf cart. It runs, it's not leaking, needs a little bit of work, but I'm keeping this, other than fixing those lights, just the way it is. Because in 30 years, imagine having an 82-year-old golf cart. I think this thing is pretty groovy, and if you come across one in good shape, why not buy it? Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out my blog, www.jams.net.